Hi and Happy New Year! Welcome to my first video of the year, which is a Throwback Thursday video, and it's actually Friday here in Australia, so I've got some catching up to do. This Throwback Thursday video is about how I met my husband online. So I first met my husband online on a website called christiandatingforfree.com, and this was back in June of 2012. And at that point I wasn't really looking anymore to find anyone, because I had tried other websites, and I guess I wasn't really that serious about looking for anyone because I was still doing my PhD in music. I was still really busy, and that was kind of why I was looking online as well, because my social life was a bit cramped. I work at home, so I don't go out much, and then when you add study into that, it's like I don't really have a social life. If I wanted to find anyone, I would have to go out of my way. And I just didn't really have the time for that back when I was doing my PhD. So I don't really know what I was thinking. I guess I was thinking maybe it wouldn't take as much time if I went online to search. But anyway, that was not a total waste of time, because I did eventually find my husband. But the time before that, when I tried all these other websites, I didn't find anyone. And on this website you can look at people's profiles, and you can send messages for free without paying anything. So I was just looking at his profile, and I saw that he was from the US, and so I wasn't really that interested. I was just browsing and just wasting time. But on this website you can see who views your profile. So he saw that I viewed his profile, and he then messaged me back, and he said, "It's nice to see someone as pretty as you checking me out." I mean, it's always nice to receive compliments, but I wasn't actually looking for anything to go any further. So I wrote, "Thank you and all the best in your search." And then he wrote back and he said, "Oh, you're chasing me away already." And he then talked about how he wanted to visit Australia because he saw an advertisement about it, and he had been keen on visiting sometime soon. And so then we got chatting, and then we started emailing, and we became friends, and then we started liking each other. And then our first Skype was about 2 weeks after we started emailing, because I didn't realize that my iMac had a microphone and a webcam. I just had no idea that the iMac had that, so all that time when we were emailing I thought I couldn't Skype. But anyway, I found out that I could Skype, and we Skyped, and I met, and then I heard his voice, and then we saw each other, and then we started Skyping more often, a few times a week, and we still emailed maybe once every day or 2 days in between, just to catch up. And eventually he visited me in January 2013, so about 7 months after we first started emailing, then he came to visit me in Sydney for 10 days, and we just did all the touristy stuff. Like, we went to the Opera House, and we went to Darling Harbour, we went to the aquarium in Sydney, and we went to the beach. So all the typical Aussie stuff, we did that. And then he went back to the US, but before he did, he asked me out. So then we were like boyfriend, girlfriend, but long distance. And we continued to Skype and email, and it was actually pretty hard. Like, I realized then it did take a lot of commitment and time, even though it was online. And I was still doing my PhD. I was just finishing it off that year, 2013. That was the year that I was finishing off my PhD. And so I was doing that. I was still teaching piano, and I was keeping up this relationship. But it was fun. And then I visited him in Seattle. He lives in Washington State, and so I visited him with my parents because things were like getting quite serious. I think if anything is going to go forward, then my parents would have to meet him. So us three went to the US. We went to LA and Seattle, and he actually came with us to LA. So we spent some time there together as a family, and then we went to Seattle, and he showed us around Seattle. that was when he realized that he loved me. Before that, it was a little bit uncertain whether he did or not, and I had actually started loving him since October of 2012. I loved him even before I met him in person. I don't know why. I'm just weird. So that was a relief to know that he loved me too. And then after I came back to Australia, I planned another trip to go there in October, and I went there by myself this time. I went to Seattle and I stayed with him for 3 weeks, and we got engaged. And within the next 6 months we got married. No, not 6 months, 7 months. We got married in May 2014. So we had a wedding in Sydney, we had our honeymoon at the Gold Coast, and then he went back to the US in June, and then I handed in my application for the spouse visa in June. And so I've been waiting for the last 7 months with the visa, and I'm guessing it'll take another few months because it has been approved already, but I still have to wait for the interview, and there's still a couple of things I need to do. So we're waiting for that. But in the meantime, he's gonna visit me in about 2 weeks time. He'll be coming to visit Sydney, and he'll be staying with me here for 5 days, and then we're going off to Adelaide for 12 days. And then the last 2 days we're staying in Newtown near Sydney, and then he'll be going back, and then it'll be long distance again. So that's the story of how I met my husband, as brief as I can make it. And it's been fun, it's been challenging, and probably one of the best things that has happened to me. Yeah, I'm really happy, and I guess my advice for those who are in long distance relationships is that if you want it to work, then it will work. If you don't want it to work, it won't work. So you will find a way to make things work if you really want it to. And I think you need to just keep up the communication, find ways to spend time together and do things together, even if it's just online. And yeah, so if you have any questions, you can ask me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.